Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
A rainy morning has turned into a cool, cloudy afternoon here in Lakeland as we welcome you to Joker Marchant Stadium. Today's spring training baseball presents the Detroit Tigers and the Washington Nationals. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Kurt Gibson. Glad to have you with us here for our spring training telecast today. Rod Allen will join us a little bit later on. Gibby, now the Tigers pitching rotation is starting to take form. The staff is starting to gel a little bit now. Matt Boyd goes today.
Yeah, only a couple of locks. We heard from Gardy yesterday, Michael Fulmer and Francisco Liriano, the closest thing to a lock if healthy. Now Matt Boyd's definitely in the mix, throwing the ball very well in 3 games so far. And what's the progression of a pitcher? You look at him, he throws twice as many curveballs as he did when he came up, less sliders and the same amount of changeups. So he's coming around nicely, and he's going to try and display that form that he's been acquiring over his 3 years today.
All right, stick around. Also on the telecast today, we'll talk to the pitching coach, Chris Basio. Al Kaline will join us as well, so a lot going on here at Joker Marchant Stadium. Coming up, the Tigers offense came alive yesterday. They pounded out 10 hits and a win here in Lakeland. Hopefully more of the same today. Stay with us. Tigers Nationals coming up next. To peek through the clouds, but we have baseball nonetheless. The Tigers and the Nationals here getting together for this afternoon's game. Starting lineup for the Nationals is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Not too many of the starters coming from West Palm Beach for the Nats. They've got Goodwin, Defoe, and Robles at the top of their lineup. Matt Adams will bat cleanup, followed by Sierra and Stevenson. Severino, Brignac, and Reynolds rounded out for the Nationals. They are facing the left-handed slants of Matt Boyd, presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, Matt Boyd going into his 4th year with the Tigers after coming over from Toronto. See, very successful so far in spring training, record of 2-0. Throwing the ball well, always looking for that consistency and trying to vie for one of the 3 remaining spots. And let's take a look at the defense for the Tigers. We got Mikey Matuk in the left field, Jacoby Jones today in center, Nick again in right, Candelario, Iglesias, Machado, and Spinal, I should say. At first base, John Hicks behind the plate. He'll be catching Matt Boyd.
Well, the weather here today is a little bit different than what we are used to here in Lakeland. Temperature is only 63 degrees, a lot of humidity in the air here this afternoon. As we mentioned, it was raining most of the morning here. The tarp has been on the field all day, and you can see the wind is howling out to right field this afternoon.
Yeah, it's either sun, it's clouds, or it's wind down here in spring training, but you can catch him here, you can catch him anywhere, so it's good practice.
Well, Matt Boyd is concluding his tune-up tosses. Home plate umpire today is Jerry Lane. He'll be calling balls and strikes for the Tigers and the Nationals here from Joker Marchant Stadium. Tigers offense woke up yesterday, 10 hits in their win, and that was against the Atlanta Braves. And as Ron Gardenhire said, we hadn't shook hands after a game in quite a while, so it was good to get a win yesterday.
It was lost 8 in a row, got on the winning side yesterday, and hope to get another. No matter if it's spring training or not, it still feels much better to win, even though you're supposedly working on things.
Ryan Goodwin leads it off and looks at strike one from Matt Boyd. We are underway this afternoon from Lakeland.
Did you ever notice that guys give an explanation? I was just working on this or that spring training.
Yeah, I was just working on my breaking pitch. Not really worried about results at this point. Yeah. But you're right, it's always better to win.
Yeah, I like to work on my breaking pitch and win.
Here's the 2-0 pitch now for Boyd, and that's a little bit low. Check the count now. It is 2 balls, 1 strike. On the leadoff man, Brian Goodwin, the center fielder, hit .251 last year. He'll rope that one foul on the ground, first base side. Nationals coming off a pretty good year last year, 97 wins, and they were first in the National League East. They've got another really good team again this year.
Yeah, and they had some injuries last year, overcame that. 2 pretty good starters. Max Scherzer, arguably the best in the National League. And Kershaw and a good breaking ball there. Ooh. Matt Boyd, down goes Goodwin.
We'll be talking about that breaking ball from Boyd as the game goes on, but that was a dandy right there.
Well, he used to throw a slider, Matt did, when he first came up, and this is a good breaking ball right there. See, it comes out looking like a fastball down the middle, disappears. That's what you want, a good chase pitch there for the 3rd strike.
Boyd fires a strike right at the knees of Wilmer Defoe, the second baseman. .271 hitter last year. Defoe looks at a ball inside. Nationals have Daniel Murphy coming back from an injury, but he is their very talented second baseman. He's a free agent next year. They are expecting Defoe might be able to take that spot, and he certainly would be a much less expensive player.
And that is a consideration. You can see the economics changing a little bit in the game today.
Swing and a miss, and an awkward swing by Defoe, and what a start for Matthew Boyd.
Well, he got Goodwin on the curveball, and then he comes back here with the changeup. Good arm motion, gets it down in the zone where you want it. Defoe goes down.
Here's Victor Robles, their best prospect, at least their top-rated prospect. He looks at ball 1.
He's got high numbers. I was reading his scouting report. They have a scale of 1 through 80. Grades out as a 65 overall, 75 speed. That's fast, and just overall real good marks. But that's why they say prospects. You know, he's very young, and time will tell.
Swing and a miss, and Boyd right now having his way with the Washington lineup.
Sees those youngsters. He knows that they're going to be anxious in this game today. That was a change up there. Robles out in front.
In the air to center field on a line. Jacoby Jones with a running catch.
Great jump.
And a 1-2-3 inning for Matthew Boyd. We go to the bottom of the 1st in Lakeland, no score. Their starting lineup today is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Tigers, a bit of a different look this afternoon. Machado, Iglesias, Candelario, your top three. Nicholas Castellanos cleaning up, and Victor. Hicks is catching, and Matuk, Espinal, and Jones, your bottom three, and they're facing the right-handed offerings of Edwin Jackson.
What a career so far, 34 years old, been with 12 teams, second time with Washington, had a no-hitter, all-star game, been a world champion, still wants to pitch, and here he is today trying to make the Nationals team.
And here's Dixon Machado. Threw it right by him, 0-1 on Dixon. It'll be Machado, Iglesias, Candelario here in the Tigers' first. Numbers on Dixon last year, 1 home run, 11 RBIs. And Machado slated to play second base this year for the Tigers, with Ian Kinsler being dealt off to the Los Angeles Angels. So Machado has quite an opportunity staring him in the face.
He really does, and he's been to the bottom of the order mostly. Nice base hit to right field. Tigers still looking at lineup construction, and you always want to take the opportunity. You get up here and leading off the game, base hit, makes you feel good, open some eyes. Ball up and away, just went with it.
It'll bring up Jose Iglesias. Iggy batting in the 2 spot again today for the Tigers.
Edwin Jackson, lots of sliders to the righties. More change to the lefties. Throws a slider and a slur, but his bread and butter mainly fastball slider. Very live arm, durable.
Jackson re-signing with the Nationals in January. In the air to left field. Stevenson coming in, and 1 gone. Iglesias flies to left. That'll bring up Jamer Candelario. Gibby, you talk about lineup construction. Really, aside from guys like Cabrera and Castellanos and Martinez, you know those guys will be in the middle of the Tigers lineup. But there are some intriguing decisions to be made, including Candelario. Where does he bat in the lineup? Where does Iglesias bat?
Yeah, I think Candelario, early on, you're going to want to put him down in the order, and he may be able to move up. He's a young kid at a new organization, and you want to kind of give him a soft landing initially. Anyway, getting in this year, they'd love to see him get off to a great start where maybe they feel he could move up as the season progresses. Right now they've had Martin and Iglesias at the top of the order, and maybe not the ideal guys from a on base percentage, but if you're going to take them out of there, who do you replace them with? And that's what spring training is for.
Well, Candelario is only 24 years old, and he really showed that he's got a bright future in September. Batted .330 for the Tigers over the final month of the year when he was called up.
And he's a switch hitter. Seems to swing the bat pretty good from both sides of the plate.
You know, the other thing that Jamer showed in the minor leagues was some power. He hit 15 homers, had 36 doubles at AAA last year. So there is a little bit of thunder in that bat as well.
And in Comerica Park, gappers are very good.
On the ground to the shortstop, nice backhanded play by Brignac, and they get the force at second. What a play. That ball was headed to left center field.
Reed Brignac, a veteran guy, got a good hop right here, and good jump, accurate throw. Cut Machado down at second base. Pretty good secondary lead over there. That's just a good play with an accurate throw. Good pick.
Nice job at second base as well from Defoe to pick that ball. 2 outs now for Castellanos. Nick had 3 at-bats yesterday, was hitless. One of the few days here in camp that Nick has not gone off. I mean, his average has been in the 370 range for the last week or so.
Yeah, fed him a lot of sliders away yesterday. Nick could not get on him, but today's a new day. He's going to be pitched to quite differently this year. He's served notice, and they'll make adjustments to him.
Castellanos had a 9-game spring hitting streak come to an end in yesterday's ball game, but he has been the one of the better hitters for the Tigers in camp, and in fact he leads the way in homers and RBIs for the Tigers so far. Castellanos, of course, is still getting accustomed to playing right field, and one of the great all-time right fielders used to play in Detroit, Al Kaline, and he has tutored Mr. Castellanos. He'll be joining Rod Allen next half inning. Got Hall of Famers all over the place. We had Tram yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't used to have only but a couple, and Tram's here now. Jack will be around someday. But Al Kaline, geez, I'm not going to say his age because he looks a lot younger. He still has the great K-line movements. Put a glove on his hand, he's smooth. He used to teach me. I thought, man, he's showing me up.
Huh.
But he loves to be around this park, and people love to listen and hear the stories and his opinion. He's a great, great guy, great Tiger, great Hall of Famer.
Number 6. It's one of the great things about Tigers baseball throughout the course of the year. You see some of the great alumni, so to speak, Willie Horton, Al Kaline. They're around the park a lot. We see Tram quite a bit now around the park, back in the organization.
Lou stops by occasionally.
1-2 on Nicholas Castellanos. 2 outs with a man aboard against Edwin Jackson. Just missed on the check swing, and the count levels now 2-2.
Another slider. Edwin Jackson, when he's got it working, it's very hard to pick up. Don't pick up the spin till late. He's also able to shape it from a short slider to more of a slurvy type slider.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Castellanos. First strikeout of the ball game for Jackson. Tigers strand a man. Series Championship, September 8th. Tigers hosting the Cardinals at 6:10 p.m. Special on-field ceremony prior to the game, and the first 20,000 fans receive a replica 1968 road jersey. So take advantage of that. Visit Tigers.com. First pitch hammered in the air to deep center field and run down by Jacoby Jones. Matt Adams retired, 1 gone. We check in now with Rod Allen, who is standing by with number 6, Al Kaline.
Well, thank you, Mario. And the man that I'm talking to right now really needs no introduction. That would be the Hall of Famer, Al Kaline. And Al, We had a very nice conversation with Al Avila yesterday, and he said he just loves the way that Ron Gardenhire has ran this camp. He loves the energy in Miggy and Victor Martinez. What's been your assessment so far of spring training?
Well, I agree with Al about the new manager. He really interacts with all the young players, everybody, and that's always great to see because we have an awful lot of young players here who are a little nervous. They want to make the ball club, but they don't know what's going to happen to them. And he does a great job of interacting with all the players, particularly the young guys.
You know, Mario brought this up last half inning. He was talking about the fact that you were a marvelous right fielder. Now the Tigers have basically a new right fielder in Nicholas Castellanos, really playing right field for the first time. You've watched him this spring. What kind of progress has he made?
I think he's doing a great job. Nick is a hard worker. He's really matured a lot as a person, as a man, as a baseball player, and he's the true leader of our ball club. There's no question about that. And he works extremely hard in right field, and he's doing a good job, but he's not a gold glover by any sense of the imagination right now. But he's going to be much better. He's going to still have some trouble, particularly with the fences and the walls, but that would happen to anybody.
You know, when you start talking about young players, and it looks like the Tigers are going to have quite a few on their roster this year. Jacoby Jones comes to mind, Jamer Candelario, Dixon Machado. They're going to all get opportunities. You had an opportunity at a very young age. What is it going to take for those players to have success at a young age?
Well, first of all, they have to realize that there's going to be failures because the game of baseball is about failure. You're going to fail more times than you are successful. And what I tell the guys, you got a great chance here. You got an opportunity, and that's what every player, in my mind, should want: the opportunity to get a chance to play. We have a lot of great young players here. They are now getting a taste of big league baseball now, because early in the spring everybody's not in shape. Now they're starting to see major league pitching at its best and hitters at its best. And we'll see how they react from here on out. But Al Avila has done a wonderful job. Him and his staff have done a wonderful job of making trades and getting some really good young players.
Speaking of young players, I know you are as excited as I am. I've been down here for a while, and I just can't stay off those minor league fields. I mean, there's a kid by the name of Manning back there. There's Burrows is back there, Faedos of the world, Camerons. There's a lot of really good young players. As a matter of fact, you and I had a chance to watch that Manning kid pitch a couple of days ago. He looks special.
He is going to be special if he stays healthy. Hopefully he will do that. He still has to have his control under control, but he's got a great arm. He's a wonderful kid. I really love to interact with these guys. I've got down here early and had a chance to have lunch with them in the cafeteria over at Tiger Town and just listen to them talk and try to answer some questions for them and tell them how lucky they are to be in this great game of baseball.
Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us this afternoon, and thank you so much for what you do for the Detroit Tigers. All right, back upstairs to you, partner.
All right, Ron, thanks. I could listen to Al Kaline talk all day. Great information there from number 6, and a great throw there.
Wow.
From John Hicks. How about that?
That was quick.
Sierra Cut stealing to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left, still no score. And you're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Pastime gets a good jump, and I thought he had it easy. Look at this throw right there, right on the money. And then John Hicks trying to make a statement where he belongs on his team as well. That's bodes very well for him.
Yeah, James McCarron, of course, will be the starter, but Hicks in camp. Tigers signed Jared Saltalamacchia a couple of days ago as well to join spring camp here.
I thought that was McCannon at first.
Yeah,
Remembered it was John Hicks, but that was an excellent throw.
Victor Martinez leads it off. It'll be Martinez, then Hicks, and then Matuk. Edwin Jackson back out there for his second inning of work. Gave up a single in the first inning. V-Mart hit a ball the other day, in fact yesterday, that carried over the left field wall onto the berm out there, an opposite field home run.
Yeah, that's a really good sign, because a lot of time you pull the ball. When you hit it to left center or opposite, that's a true sign of you staying back and driving through the ball. You can get away with the pull side without doing everything right.
Popped up third base side. Into short left field. Reynolds makes the play, and Victor is out of there. One gone for John Hicks. You can see the clouds are still hovering over Joker Marchant Stadium today.
I believe the rain's not going to come back, though. Let's hope so. Now, this is warm for the Detroiters.
It is 63 degrees.
Everybody's talking about how cold it is. I was in Detroit 2 days ago, and this is nice.
Here's John Hicks.
Trying to jump that fastball. Got a little wrinkle on the end of it.
Hicks took advantage of his opportunity last year. Showed some power for the Tigers. 6 home runs in his brief playing time last season for the Tigers as a reserve, batted .266. Jackson ahead of the count, 0-2.
Got the four-seamer there. Previous pitches, I believe, were 2 sliders. So when he's throwing a slider, it's going straight down. Very tough to pick up. He's probably going to come with it right here.
In the dirt, nice block by the catcher Severino. 2-2 now.
Catchers do an amazing job blocking balls back there. You wonder how they can do it. Of course, they know what's coming, right?
That helps, but still, it's a very good point. I mean, some of these balls that are blocked by these big league catchers, they make it look way too easy.
Well, they've been down here for a long time here in spring training. There's so many things that go on. Those catchers go out and block balls at least every other day. They have all kind of competitions. They draw a circle in front of the plate. They do it for service. They say it's like you buy me a popper, I'll buy you one.
Swing and a miss, and he takes care of Hicks. 2 gone.
Al Kainline was talking about big league pitching. That's a big league slider right there. Very, very tight. Very hard to see.
Hey, opening day is less than 3 weeks away. Thursday, March 29th. Tigers kick off the 18 season at 1:10 p.m. against the Pirates. Good seats are still available. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
Opening day. Now, when we were looking at the World Series clip there in the last inning, the Tiger Stadium was green. That takes you back to the 60s for sure. And I remember when I was in 6th grade watching the World Series. Of course, we just saw the clip, and Comerica Park looks a little cleaner than the old Tiger Stadium, and it's much more fan-friendly. Facility is great for the players as well, so don't miss it.
It'll be a great event again, and it is a little bit different starting with the National League team. The Tigers have done that a couple of times in recent memory. They started in Miami against the Marlins a couple of years ago. They're going to start against the National League and end up in Milwaukee against the National League team this year.
You know, you're a manager, you probably don't want to have your pitchers swing in the last series of the season.
Right back to Jackson. He'll have himself an easy 1-2-3 inning. 2 innings in the books here in Lakeland. Still no score. Allen and Craig Monroe.
I want some of that. I want some of that. They're not even sweating yet, though.
Oh man, Rod can do it, man. He's a pretty good ping pong player. I had no idea. You want some of that, huh? You can
I
play a
do.
little ping pong?
I play all the time.
Or table tennis. What is it called? Nice job, fellas. Our cameras are everywhere, apparently.
Games going on everywhere.
That's right. Severino leads it off against Matt Boyd, who's had a nice, snappy first 2 innings. Slow roller off the end of the bat. Espinal gobbles it up. He'll take it himself, 1 gone.
Well, Matt Boyd, very good in the first 2 innings so far, actually 2 and a third. Using his slider and his changeup. Got his 3 strikeouts so far. Another breaking pitch right here. And it appears, we were talking in the open about the use of his changeup and curveball, how they have increased over the first 3 years here, and he's certainly working on that today.
20 strikes of the 28 for Matt Boyd. Nicely done. He's come out pounding the strike zone today. Reed Brignac will step in. Talk about that breaking ball from Boyd. A couple of years ago, opponents hit 300 against that curveball. Last year, Gibby, that number went down to 164. Chopper slowly towards second. Machado charging. 2 gone.
Well, he's thrown it more and it's gotten a lot better. It's obvious the numbers do not lie. 2015 it was 9% at the time he threw it, 18% last year. The change is pretty much the same, but you know, the location of the pitches, understanding where to start them for the strike, where to start them for the chase pitch. And he's got that 3 years under his belt, and as I said earlier, he's been really successful in the minor leagues when he's been sent down there. Now he just has to duplicate that, control those pitches, believe in them, and he'll be successful here in Detroit.
Matt Reynolds will stand in now with 2 outs. High and away, and the count goes 2-0 on the number 9 hitter Reynolds. There's Ron Gardenhire along with Lloyd McClendon.
You got the little net right there.
You know
Back in the day, there was no net.
And I always wondered why guys didn't protect themselves.
Well, because they felt their eyes were good enough, but I can tell you when you hit 50, they come quick. I mean, you just think about it. It definitely makes sense to have nets all the way around.
Agreed.
To me. But for so many years, the dugouts did not have any nets on the front.
Right.
I will say, sorry for stepping on you there. I will say, when you're a player, you're pretty in tune with the ball, you know what I'm saying? But for the non-professional athlete, it gets a little tough. It gets on you quick. The rate at what it approaches you, it's got you.
3-2 on Matt Reynolds. Lost in ball 4, 2-out walk. It'll be the first walk of the ball game for Boyd.
Pretty close pitch there.
Brian Goodwin will stand in. He struck out to start the ball game, 1 of 2 strikeouts in that first inning for Boyd.
See if Matt Boyd continues to use the breaking pitch.
That slides outside, 1-0. Boyd last year establishing career highs in starts, innings, strikeouts as well. Good pitch. 1-1.
You know, Goodwin, pretty good runner, and you look at the field today, you can see it's moist and a little wet, a little slower, so get a guy who's speedy, you might want to move up a step or two.
And it's usually the other way around with the sun beating down on the field. This point of camp, the infields get pretty hard, pretty dusty.
Yeah, the way the field is right now, Alan Trammell would love it that way all game. Because you know, if you're standing out there all the time, it's over the course of a season, it gets it wears on you, the hard infield, and you get bad hops. Now, if somebody's footprint's there and you go and tap it down, the ball will stay down. But if it's dried out, that'll take you, that powder that you put back in there comes right out, and you get the bad hop.
You know, when we get to the ballpark, we see the grounds crew wetting down the infield before the start of the game. How long does that usually last throughout the course of the game?
Well, many ground crews, they'll wet it all night. They'll soak it, like tonight after the game. They might, if there's no rain forecast and it's just sun, they'll soak it, they'll flood it. But you try and get the moisture way down deep. Oh, there's where that screen comes in. Looks like Goodwin's going to hit the ball down the left field line. Mikey might want to move over and in. He's got to read the swings if you're a fielder.
Runner going on 3-2, and he lost in ball 4. Back-to-back walks here in the third. Well, Menards brings you the big money encounter. Remember this outing last year given by Matthew Boyd.
Yeah, it was in September. Had a no-no going. Did walk a runner in the third. A perfect game. 2 outs. Tim Anderson. Right center field. Room to no-no. And that just shows you the ability that he has. He's still got the chilly shower. And that was the first day that Justin Verlander started in Houston, so he served notice that he's going to pick up the slack.
Oh, so close to that no-hitter, and losing one with 2 outs in the 9th inning is certainly a bitter pill to swallow, but man, Boyd was awfully good that day.
Oh, he was.
Here is Wilmer Defoe. And now the counter's gone 2-0 after a couple of walks. We're in the third here in Lakeland, no score. Boyd had retired the first 2 batters in this inning on ground balls, then a walk to Reynolds, a walk to Goodwin.
Again, I think he's really working on those off-speed pitches.
Hola.
2 off-speed pitches, walked Reynolds, walked Goodwin, because that's where he's going to have to throw when he gets into the season. Got him.
That throw to first is in time and a clean pick. Man, Hicks putting on a show today. Goodwin is picked off first base. No runs, 2 walks. 1 man left and 1 terrific throw from John Hicks. Nationals and Tigers, each team with a hit. It'll be Edwin Espinal to get things started versus Edwin Jackson here in the bottom of the third. And we'll also be joined by Chris Basio, the Tigers' new pitching coach this half inning, who's agreed to join us for the Tigers dugout. And
That's got to get out of here.
First ball is going to slice foul back out of play. It did indeed, Chris. Thanks so much for joining us here today. And I know it's always a process to kind of get to know a new organization. How has that process gone for you so far?
It's gone good. You know, as you just said, it's, you know, you're trying to get to know these guys, starting pitchers. You know, I've had 4 sides with them. Relief pitchers are a little more difficult because some of them have had 4 appearances and maybe 2 sides. So, you know, you try to spend as much time with them as you can, talk to them, get to know the nuances about them.
Hey, Boz, it's Gibby. One of the things you got to like is see your catcher picks the guy off with men at first and second. You like that's pitcher's best friend, isn't it?
You know, it's something we've been working on, Gibby. You know, we had a design play there in the first inning as well with something we've been working out. I don't want to go into the secrets, but you know, when you execute pitches in certain spots, it gives our catchers opportunities to do that. And Pixie's done a nice job in both occasions, and you know, and Matt struggled a little bit there with his command, but executed a pitch and got rid of the ball quick to allow us to back pick right there.
So I was just sitting up here wondering, you know, Matt cruising along, walks 2 guys, secondary pitches on them both. I don't know whether he's working on those pitches or he's going to do that. I know he wants to be able to do that in the regular season. As a pitching coach, when do you decide I need to go out there and talk to him, or do you tell the catcher to go out? What are some of the key factors in determining that?
Well, as you know, there's limitations on what we can do this year, so it's going to be important that our catchers, you know, have that ability to reach our guys quickly. In that case, I thought Matt executed some pitches that were pretty close on both walks. We don't like the walks. You know, we're trying to work fast and throw strikes, but there are some things that I wanted him to work at, you know, in that 3rd inning. You know, and you know, Jerry back there today, you know, he's tight. I mean, we've got all the strike data on all the umpires, and we know that it's got to be over the plate. He's not going to call the edges very often. So it's our job to recognize that and be a little bit more aggressive. And you know, I've already called down to Rick Anderson and let him know that, you know, we're going to have to be a little stronger on our line out of the hand today because he's not giving too much on the edges today.
Jacoby Jones standing in now. We're chatting with Chris Bosio, the new pitching coach for the Tigers. And Bos, you touched on the fact that the rules are a bit different this year in that you have 6 visits to the mound. How does that affect what you do, what your catchers do? Is there a strategy that you guys have to employ, or do you pretty much take it on a game-by-game basis?
Well, it's in place already. You know, it's important that we know the nuances. We've got signs, hand signals, hand gestures, head nods, stuff like that. And you know, we've got 3 different things that we can use at any given time for our catchers or the pitchers looking in, you know, from the field. So they know when, if timeout is called and the catcher stands up or tells you to step off, you know, all eyes are in the dugout, either looking at myself or the bench coach, Steve Little.
Oh, driven to left field, hit well off the bat of Jones.
No catch.
Diving.
No catch, Gibby. No catch.
Stevenson gave it a whale of a try. Here comes Espinal rounding 3rd. They send him home, and he's going to be out. Edwin Espinal tried to score on the play, and he's thrown out at home plate. It'll be a double for Jacoby Jones.
Good hustle, puppy. Let him wait.
Yeah,
Good hustle.
Jacoby's really swinging the bat well this year. Unfortunately, we don't score the run, but here, Boz, he's a good cheerleader when those hitters are up. I can hear you, Boz.
Got to do it, Gibby.
Hey, we've read a little bit about some of the techniques that you employ. Now, Carpenter's up in the bullpen, I believe, out there. And is he really coming in, or are you going to sit him down and bring him in a couple innings later? What goes into that thought?
Well, you know, Carpenter coming over here had a lot of success in the PCL, really working on no shake policy with him. So you guys are going to be able to tell me a little bit better based on your angle on TV, but I want him to trust the catcher. We've got a game plan set. Yes, we game plan for today. Matt did a great job with Hicksey scripting out. I mean, it was 12 of the first 13 pitches in that first inning they executed, whether it's up on the hands, in, off, or double up on soft. We recognize those kind of guys before the game, and then we game plan with 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 pitch sequences to each hitter. Carp's pretty much the same thing. I've already gone over the game plan with Hicksy with him. Matt and him are very similar in styles. Carp's got a little bit longer levers, so we're working on, him being a little quicker in between pitches and working on his slide step. So hopefully we'll continue to see that out of Mr. Carpenter today.
Dixon Machado standing in now with a runner on and 1 out. Jackson works at home and misses high. And Boz, I wanted to ask you about this whole launch angle thing and how it affects what you do and how it affects what your pitchers do, because it seems now the fastball up in the zone has become quite a pitch to kind of counteract the new launch angle. Is that accurate, or is that just something that we try and throw out there?
No, it's accurate. The guy sitting next to you, Gibby, he's very, very good low ball hitter. And
used to be.
Well, I still remember one that's still traveling you hit off me.
Did that go over the roof?
It went over the street, Gibby. It's in the lumber yard, stuck in the dirt somewhere in Old Tiger Stadium.
Oh, boy.
Now, I thought Gibby would be the one to bring that up, but,
no, I will.
but Boz was.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one. I mean, that was one where everybody in the upper deck stood up, tried to catch it, and then looked up as it went over the roof.
By the way, that was after I got hit in the mouth with the pitch, and I demanded to be in the lineup because Tram was going to put something in my locker saying that I was a sissy. And I hit that, and then I went like 2 for 42, so thanks for putting me in a slump. Took one for the team.
I don't think I had anything to do with that.
Jose Iglesias takes the ball inside. Well, what do you got on Francisco Liriano? He was signed as a free agent recently toward the end of February, and all of a sudden he becomes a veteran in this rotation that by and large is still pretty young.
Frankie's been awesome to work with. Very receptive to little things. But you got a big game pitcher. Highly recommended from the staff. Gardy and I had some conversations along with the rest of the guys that were in Minnesota. But you got a guy that loves to compete, still has a lot left in the tank, and there's going to be a lot put on him. We got to try to get him, in game ready shape. He came in actually in pretty good shape for a guy that missed the first part, but he's been a joy to work with, and has fit in very nicely, and is going to be a big-time leader, on this team. Nice swing.
A drive to left field and a base hit. They're going to hold Jones at third base. Stevenson quickly hustles the ball back in.
Swing it. Very nice. But he brings a lot. He brings big game pitching. He brings a lot of the intangibles. And, Gardy and Rick Anderson, our bullpen coach, spoke very highly of this young man, and he's lived up to the billing. So I'm looking forward to a healthy season out of him and all the leadership that he brings to a pitching staff.
Hey, Bob, one more question for me.
Sure.
I mean, as I went through my career, there were certain mentors that I had more impact than others, and Sparky was the guy. What guy in your life and your professional career made you the lifer like you've turned into? Would you believe it back in the 80s and 90s? Now you're a lifer.
Pete Vukovich.
Two-shoe Vuk?
Two-shoe Vuk. He hard-throwing kid coming up with the Milwaukee Brewers back when we were, as you know, in the American League East. California kid. All I wanted to do was after the baseball season go home and fish and boat. And, Vuki, after my second year of being a swing guy, whether it was in the starting rotation or the bullpen, he asked me to spend my winter back in Milwaukee, and I thought he was crazy. And he had Mike Hegan had a place called Mike Hegan's Grand Slam out in the east side of Milwaukee. And I went over there. I met Vuki over there twice a week all winter. And it was the smartest thing that I ever did. He taught me how to, much like a golfer, have 3 different pitches on every pitch I threw. My slider, I had 3 different speeds on my slider. I had 3 different speeds on changeup, wind up and stretched. We worked on timing. We worked on balance. I mean, I've never had so much thrown at me. And as you guys know, I'm to a Cy Young Award winner and an ultimate gamer in this game. I mean, he really matured me as a major league pitcher. I thought, I won 17 games in A-ball with 12 complete games and 6 shutouts. I was an all-star closer. I've led 3 different leagues in strikeouts. Every year I've played, I played on an all-star team. All great, but none mattered when you get to the big leagues because my big league teammates played at a certain level with the Milwaukee Brewers back then. They brought me Paul Mulder, Robin Yount, Cecil Cooper, Gorman Thomas, Ted Simmons, Raleigh Fingers, Jim Gantner.
Man, you're old.
I'm old. I'm old, buddy. But they brought my game to a different level.
This
Much
might
better.
Be a 6-4-3, and it's dropped at first,
There
and
we
a run
go.
will score.
There we go. We're on the board. All right, Jonesy. Swing, kid. Nice job.
Candelario gets an RBI, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. That boss was an all-star studded locker room that you guys had there. I mean, you talk about some names. I mean, was that intimidating at all when you got to that locker room as a kid?
It was welcoming because I knew how good they were. I did not know. You don't know when you're playing with Hall of Famers. You know that they're all-stars. You know how special they are, and I was truly blessed to be around those guys. And now still good friends to this day. Pete Vukovic and I don't go a couple weeks without sending each other a text or saying hi. I just remember the way he went about, the relationship, with me. Here's a guy that, towards the end of his career, and this was in 1988. I mean, he'd take time out of his day back in Wisconsin, of all places, and meet me at a warehouse, teaching a young, hard-throwing, hungry kid, how to pitch. I'll never forget that. And it's, going all the way back to what you said, Gibby, is who inspired me, who taught me the most. This guy taught me a lot about, it's not always about you and your schedule. It's about everybody else and what they have going on and helping somebody else and passing the torch. And that's where I learned how to take care of younger players. It taught me to be a better teammate, taught me to be a better player, and certainly a better coach.
So what did you think when you saw a guy that had most impact? He had 2 different shoes on, for those of you that didn't know that.
Is that where 2 shoes comes from?
Yeah, did he not, Boz? He had 2 different shoes on.
Well, Gibby, you look at him, you don't know which way he's going, and that's part of the deception.
So he's goofy.
Yeah, you might see that one of these days out of Fulmer or Zimmerman. You never know.
Yeah, they get into they're struggling a little bit, but their confidence, give them another shoe to put on, and they'll just forget about it.
Well, he was a strange bird. I mean, I can remember a lot of times, they'd have the cup protector on underneath that uniform, and that was about it. It's all he wore underneath those hot, muggy days, in Milwaukee, in Old County Stadium, when there's no breeze at all, 90 degree humidity. I mean, you guys know how it is in Detroit on those hot, humid days, and Milwaukee was pretty much the same.
That's in the air to left field. Stevenson coming in to make the catch
boys.
from the side. Chris, thanks very much. Good luck this year. We look forward to working with you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Boz.
All right, Chris Basio, the Tigers' new pitching coach. 50th anniversary of the 68 World Series Championship. Fans will have the opportunity to get special 50th anniversary bobbleheads all season long. May 26th, it's Al Kaline. June 2nd, Bill Freehan. July 7th, Willie Horton. And finally on August 26th, it's Mickey Lolich. All going to the first 10,000 fans into Comerica Park. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. Well, the Tigers have taken a 1-0 lead as we travel to the fourth inning here at Joker Marchant Stadium. And Ryan Carpenter now will take over on the hill for the Tigers in a wall-side windows pitching change.
There you can see his numbers. There's a guy that's got good stuff, looking to try and be able to locate it. You heard Chris Bosio talk about the game plan that they have. And we'll see if he can go out here and execute that. I thought Boz was very interesting. For those of you that don't know him or know much about him, but he loves it. As you can tell, he's into understanding the guys that he's coaching. And I can say he's got a little goofiness in him. That's a compliment. It's not all stressed out.
In the air to center field for Jacoby Jones, drifting back, and one gone. We check in now with Rod Allen, standing by with Daniel Norris.
Thank you, Mario. Daniel Norris, kind enough to stop by and have a conversation with us. And Daniel, first of all, how's spring training going for you so far here in 2018?
Yeah, it's going well. Just working hard, getting ready for the season, and yeah, having fun.
You know, you're a very interesting guy. You do a lot of things in the off season. I follow you on social media. What did you do this off season? Where'd you travel to?
Just around the state. I stayed in the States this time, so I just went to California for a while and then Colorado a couple times. And yeah, it was a good one.
Well, great. I mean, you pitched yesterday, and to me it looked like the ball was coming out of your hand beautifully. I mean, your fastball was firm, threw some good breaking balls, but it looked like to me yesterday you were concentrating on the fastball. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just a matter of kind of feeling the ball come out of your hand, like you said, and staying sharp and throwing strikes. And so that was my main focus. And yeah, just gradually progressing and improving every time out there.
You know, Daniel, you've been with the Tigers now for 3 years. You've had 3 different pitching coaches. How do you differentiate some of the conversation and try not to overthink things when you're getting so much knowledge from obviously people that know what they're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be a sponge and try and soak up all the information, but you got to be smart and kind of pick and choose what you hear and what you utilize, and it's just a matter of kind of understanding what works for you. And I like to try everything, and if it doesn't work for me, then that's when you kind of have to make a decision on if you want to continue working on that or try something else.
You know, Chris Bosio was kind enough to join Gibby and Mario upstairs half inning ago, and he's a guy that has interesting philosophies. How has he helped you so far?
Yeah, he's been it's definitely interesting, but he has a lot of things that I've never tried before. And I told him going into camp I'm willing to try whatever. I want to do whatever it takes to improve and just be a better pitcher.
You know, I know you've been doing some starting. You've also worked in the bullpen as well. Do you have a preference on what you'd like to do, or you just want that baseball?
Well, I want the baseball, but I've always been a starter, and I think I really enjoy that. But kind of pitching out of the bullpen sometimes helps with creating that mentality as far as starting and being able to take that and utilize it in different scenarios in the game.
Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the success in the world this season. All right, back upstairs, Mario and Gibby.
All right, thanks very much, Rod. And nice words there from Daniel Norris, who indeed did look good yesterday. And the Tigers trying to figure out where he fits into the plans here in 2018. Meanwhile, Carpenter's had himself a really good spring, getting an opportunity to pitch here today. 2 out, nobody on.
Yeah, it seems like when you have new pitching coaches or new hitting coaches, just new managers, your goal as a coach is to develop a bond and a trust, so that when you suggest things, and the other thing is, as a coach, it's really hard and can be dangerous to
base hit to right field, onto the reach of Machado, who is shifting.
The timing of everything. Do you sit back another day? Do you sit back a week? Do you let the guy go ahead, or do you say something? Because you don't want to make that too early in your relationship, so to say. And you can tell that Boz, now they've been here, what was it, 6 weeks now?
Yeah.
So that's been a while, and he's starting to implement some of his strategies.
2 out single by Adams. Here is Moises Sierra. Well, Carpenter, perhaps one of the surprises of camp. He had coming in 10 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings of work for the Tigers. Signed as a free agent in the offseason. That'll sail outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, you can bet over there at first base, they're not going to be leading off too far. Tigers have picked a couple off today. One at second, one at first.
One ball and 2 strikes now on Sierra. Yeah, John Hicks caught Sierra trying to steal back in the second, and then he picked off Goodwin from first base in the third. So it's been a good day defensively for the Tigers catcher, John Hicks.
Chris Bosio was talking about it's a sign thing, and but you still have to have coordination. You can't be whistling. You got to do a little eye check, and nobody else can see the sign, you know. Because if they see it, especially the good first and third base coaches, they will pick that up. That catcher's down there giving signs, and maybe he touches his right shin guard to begin with, and that puts it on. It's got to be very discreet.
High ball 3.
And one of the things you're going to look at all your pitchers, what do they do out of the wind up? What do they do out of the stretch? What do they do with guys on base? Sometimes you get a guy on base, you rush too much, and those are the things that you need to fix.
Runner will go on 3-2. In the air to right field. Castellanos backing up. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Here comes the bottom of the 4th. Three weeks away on Thursday, March 29th, Tigers kick off the 2018 season at 1:10 p.m. against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Good seats are still available. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. Sun finally peeking through now. It's another wall-side windows pitching change. Here's Trevor Gott.
Well, Trevor Gott, drafted back in 2013, a lengthy minor league career, has had some time with the Angels and also Washington 2016. Got a sniff last year in 4 games. Try and shut the Tigers down here, and V-Mart will lead it off.
Martinez, Hicks, and then Matuk in the Tigers' 4th inning. 1 ball and no strikes on Victor. They are shifting against Martinez, playing to the right side of the infield. They give up the entire third base line. This is something that Victor's had to deal with the last couple of years quite a bit. He is one of the more shifted players in the league.
See, Gott has a little different motion Real quick, herky-jerky, really slings the ball. Threw that last one at 96 miles an hour.
Slap to left field. That'll drop in, base hit. So Victor having a strong spring with a leadoff single here in the fourth.
This ball looks like a little two-seamer. He just stays with it. Doesn't try and pull the ball. Goes against the shift. Looks like he's been doing a good job of that this year so far in the spring.
Here is John Hicks, who struck out in the second against the starter, Edwin Jackson. Jackson went 3 innings, replaced by Gott here in the fourth. Ball 1. Trevor Gott spent most of last year at AAA, had a 3.86 earned run average out in the minor leagues. Slice to right field on a line. That ball is sinking and caught. Nice running play. Robles throwing back behind the runner, and Martinez gets back in.
Robles has got a gun. He wanted to show it off right there, but Victor got back safely.
Robles is their top prospect. Made a nice play there.
I think they rate his arm as at a 70. That's out of 8.
Whoa.
That's very high. He's got some life on it, doesn't he?
He sure does. Try to catch Victor napping. Here's Mikey Matuk. Mikey 0 for 1. On a line to center field. And straight at Goodwin for out number 2. It'll bring up Espinal. Edwin Espinal is a big boy. He is in camp with the Tigers this year, was in AA and AAA last year with the Pirates.
Pretty good contact guy, though. He's got 2,200 at bats as a pro, 333 strikeouts. That's 1 every 7. He puts the bat on the ball.
Showed some power last year, 15 homers, knocked in 86 in the minor leagues with the Pirates. One ball, 1 strike on Espinal. 23 years old, a native of the Dominican Republic. Tigers signed him up to a minor league deal in November. And he was at one time a pretty good prospect for the Pirates. Could play first base, could play third base. Two and 1.
Now, as a hitter, you're thinking he's going to come with a fastball. Now I think more and more you're going to get more secondary off-speed pitches. They do want the strike, though, so that could be a good pitch to wait. Right down the middle.
Which seemed to indicate he was looking off speed.
Yeah, that can happen. Many guys they have a hard time dealing with that because they don't want to say, oh man, they just took a fastball down the middle. Well, if you had a game plan, and you just like we're talking about Boz with pitching, you get a game plan. It's not always going to work.
Chop to the shortstop deep in the hole. Brignac's throw is in time.
It looked like he might have come off there.
Well, they would have looked at that in the regular season, but not in spring training. Still 1-0 Tigers. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. Back here in Lakeland, where it's turned into a fairly decent afternoon here today, following a lot of rain this morning and into the early afternoon. Andrew Stevenson will lead things off for the Nationals as we go to the 5th inning. Ryan Carpenter is still out there. Look at back out of play, and 1 ball and 1 strike. Stevenson struck out in the 2nd. He's 0 for 1. He's followed by Severino and Brignac. Tigers got a run in the 3rd, and so far that's been it. Fielder's choice ground ball by Candelario scored a run. Good bunt.
Good bunt.
Tough play, no chance for Candelario.
Does a good job, has a strike on him, squares around late, and just perfect. And Jamer couldn't get the good grip on it. Instead of throwing it and maybe throwing it wildly, just eats it.
Here's Pedro Severino.
Keep an eye on Stevenson. He's got pretty good wheels.
Got a pretty good sized lead, too. He'll draw a throw.
Oh, Matt Boyd, he's got a great move. Carpenter, not probably as good as that. But you're a lefty, you want to be able to neutralize those base stealing threats.
Good move. Got him.
Good step off move.
Stevenson is picked, and boy, the Tigers are helping themselves with some defense today.
Yeah, I hope that's the norm this year. I just like the way that they've set all these plays up. Look, he just waits till he's just stepping, and then he just steps off. Good tag. Yeah, that's what, 3 outs.
Popped up, third base side. Who wants it? And it's going to be Iglesias calling it off, and there are 2 gone. That'll bring up Brignac now with 2 outs.
Well, we were talking yesterday about how would you describe Gardy. Said fundamental, he admitted to it, so we've seen some fundamental things happen today.
It's a great point, and I think Gardy has spent a lot of time in spring camp working, and obviously you could say, well, you've got a young team, you need to do those things, but still the Tigers have spent that time in spring camp trying to get the little fundamentals down, and they've made a difference today.
I can tell you as a manager and the coaching staff, and it also helps your team build confidence in why you've worked on them and why you put them on, and it makes you want to look in, because there's more than one way to get outs.
Little looper into left field. That'll drop in for a base hit. 2-out single for Brignac. What are some of the fundamental things, Gibby, that you will do, especially early on in camp and especially with the young team?
I think everybody puts plays in. We saw a couple of them today. Carpenter, obviously, they put time in on their moves, when to throw over, how to set up a step-off move, which got Stevenson right there. But many don't stay with it. So it could be, you may not need it to the World Series.
Right.
But when you put it on, you have to keep them fresh enough and remind them that you can utilize these things. Like a lot of guys will say they don't want to do it because they don't want to throw the bases. They're afraid of throwing it away. I've heard people say that. I think you build the expectation. That's a negative thought of a fundamental to me. I think you expect yourself to throw the ball accurately. And of course, everybody's got to be on the same page. I think that's very reflective of good work and a good explanation when you're putting it in and everybody understands it.
Reynolds the batter here, 0-2 the count. You talk about how you may not need it till the end of the season or the World Series or whenever, but how often during the regular season are these things revisited?
Well, that's kind of the tricky part. How do you do it? Video. If it happens in a game, you certainly affirm and feel how that felt. And we put a play in Arizona we never used, but we had it And there was a guy at first and second. You do the wheel play where we had the second baseman go over behind it. It looks like a hit batsman.
Yeah.
But we had it. We did it. And I know some thought, well, why do we keep practicing? We don't use it. But it doesn't mean you're not going to use it. So, again, you have to do a good job of convincing. Look, this ball looks like a slider.
Back foot.
Back foot. Yeah.
2 out now with 2 outs. And Brian Goodwin will step in, the top of the lineup for the Nationals. Strikeout and a walk. It's funny you talk about these drills and when you might need them and when you might need to brush up on them. And you know, remember back in the '06 World Series, all the PFP the Tigers took in spring training, they got to the World Series, and that became an issue with all the balls that were being thrown.
So 5 errors?
Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah.
5 errors, yeah. And they were a good fielding team. Now, that's very tight plate right there by Jerry Lane, and Chris Pazio told us the data suggests that that's going to be the case. They know it going in. Washington had this exact same scenario in the third, only to be picked off second base. Two and one. Got to keep making those pitches.
Nationals today have had 2 runners picked off first base and a runner thrown out rather at second base. Hicks with 2 of those and the other picked by the pitcher Carpenter.
Now, you're an outfielder right now. You're thinking, do I want to cheat in? Do I want to stay the same? What do you do, Mario? What do you think? Guy gets that base hit. You want to cheat in there and cut him down?
Yes, I do. Oh, up in on his hands and it's fouled off.
You call it hit batsman. Jerry's saying, come on back. No. Well,
no, that is a hit batter.
you might be right with that. You see, this just gets away from Carpenter. Hit him right on the hand and the bat. But if you cheat in as an outfielder now, you got a guy in first. So if you cheat in, it gets up the gap. You may give up a run.
Right.
So there's really spring training. I think I'd probably sneak in, but now you got bases loaded.
And it's Wilmer Defoe standing in.
Got some type of delay going on now. Nobody warming up.
Defoe in the ball game, strikeout and fly out. Strike 1. Parts of the last 3 years for Defoe in the major leagues with the Nationals. He'll take a ball high, 1 ball and 1 strike, and the pitch is starting to pile up now for Carpenter here in the 5th. The pickoff really helped him out, but now they've loaded the bases. The 1-1.
Yeah, right about now, you should be able to start watching the body language. You're the pitcher in this count, in this situation. You got to find a way to slow the game down, believe in your pitches, locate.
Chased up top.
Got some help.
Should have been ball 3 there, which really would have put Carpenter in a tough spot.
Hitters get anxious too. And Defoe right here, trying to go for the downs. He's thinking grand slam. Good pitch there, in on the hands.
Brignac, Reynolds, and Goodwin, the base runners for the Nationals here. Tigers lead 1-0 in the 5th. Ball 3 on Defoe with the bases loaded.
Now, we had a conversation today with both Ron Gardenhire and Alavila and, about what happens from here on through spring and into the year and etc. Now, these are how they find out in these situations.
Line foul, third base side.
Because there is nobody up in the bullpen, so they want to see how Carpenter reacts to this situation. That's David Shad right there. Al's right in front of Al. No telly. These guys all watch the games and they meet daily, maybe a couple times a day. Lots of decisions to be made here before spring ends.
Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias to his right. His throw is not in time. It'll be an infield base hit, and a run will score, and the Nationals have tied it up.
A great job here at first base of getting a good jump. That's what happens when you get the count like that. And Iggy really did a good job, but could not cut down Goodwin at second base. Defoe beats it out easily, and we got a tie game.
So Rafael Bautista will pinch run at second base. There's a strike called on Victor Robles. Robles batting with the bases full, and Carpenter deals strike two. 0-2. Carpenter up to 42 pitches now in his inning plus. Robles, couple of fly balls to center field. Now the 0-2. Carpenter has never pitched in the big leagues. He got to AAA with the Rockies each of the last 2 years, trying to get to the big leagues this year with the Tigers. Hicks out to the mound for a visit.
Does it get 6 visits? Is that
6 visits?
So Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire, just took his scorecard out and wrote it down.
Here's the 1-2. Soft little looper back up the middle. Iglesias. Nice running play to retire the side. They will leave him loaded, but get a run to tie it up. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Fox Sports Go app and your mobile device and live stream Fox Sports Detroit and Detroit Tigers baseball wherever you go. Back here in Lakeland now, the Tigers and Nationals tied up at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's going to be Jacoby Jones to lead things off.
Kobe had a double in his first at bat. He hit about 400 this spring. He's really swung the bat well, really seeing it good. Talked to Lloyd McClendon yesterday about it. He said he just kind of spread him out a little bit, got him to sit down a little bit, get his bat back so he has less movement. Right before you're ready to swing that bat to approach the ball, you want to have your bat in a certain position. It's got to be consistent. And if you start your hands way up in front, you have to move it too far, and that's hard to sync up. Less movement, the better.
Ground ball, third base side, foul. Well, the Tigers signed Leones Martin in the offseason to give them a veteran presence here in camp, and I think he probably still a front runner to win that job, but Jacoby Jones is making things very interesting because of the fact that, as you talked about, Gibby, offensively it's been a good camp for him.
And he can flat out run and get him in center field. I mean, he may be as good as the Tigers have.
On the ground to the shortstop. And Jones retired, 1 gone.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Detroit Tigers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers, Mario Pemba.
You know, we're doing our next telecast, on the 17th?
Yeah.
I would expect by that time you should be able to do that, have it memorized, and not look at the card.
I pretty much do now.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Well, you put the card there just in case.
Well, of course. Just don't look at it.
You don't look at any of yours and let me get in there and switch a few words around.
No, I look at them all. I would never trust myself.
Or me.
Or you, true. Here's Machado now with 1 out. Dixon a single and a walk. He's had a nice day offensively.
Ooh.
Count that gets back to the dugout quickly.
Right, Trev.
You know, Gibby, ever since Machado got to the big leagues, they've talked about how he's big league ready defensively. Offensively, what is the, I don't know if ceiling is the right word, what is the potential over the course of, I don't know, say he gets 500 bats this year for Dixon with the stick?
Well, I think you want to see his on-base percentage go up. You want him to be able to handle the bat, be able to hit behind runners, be a situational type hitter. And you're not expecting him to drive the ball out of the ballpark, but you do want him to have the ability to go line to line, left field to right field. And it's all consistency. Can you do it?
Strike call, Jerry Lane punching him out of there, 2 gone.
Plate got just a little wider here in the 5th.
I was about to say the same thing.
Well, it's a pretty good pitch actually, but Jerry's been tight most of the game. Ball looked like it wiggled off.
Yeah, but I don't think he's called that a strike.
Good 2-seamer.
2 up, 2 down. Here is Iglesias. Strike called on Iggy, who had to look back for Jerry Lane. Iglesias has single back in the 3rd.
Jerry, a veteran umpire, is very good. He knows what he wants to do, and you can see a lot of 2-seamers to the Tigers on the inside part of the plate from Gott. Hitters don't like that. Like if you're a left-handed hitter, you got a guy who's throwing it down and in, running in your hands, or a righty to do that. That's a very tough pitch to hit. Plus it gets on your knuckles and it stings if you hit it.
That one stayed high. 1 and 2 now on Iglesias.
Some gasoline, 97 miles an hour.
Gott came on in the 4th, gave up a single, no damage.
Yep.
And now he's got himself a 1-2-3 5th inning with a couple of punch outs.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
We'll go to the 6th. Still tied at 1. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcast, video highlights, stat news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today, your #1 app for live baseball. Just chilling out there in the berm out in left field. Great day for it now that the sunshine is out.
Still might be a little damp under there, though. Gets itchy, you know, if you sit out there too long. You got to have something good underneath you.
You sound like you speak from experience.
Had swimmers itch a time or two in my life.
Carpenter is still out there for the Tigers. Big rip there by Matt Adams. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're an outfielder. That wind is coming up. You want to really watch the wind. You've got the sun coming out, so your conditions have changed. Not as much wind when we first came out of the air. Cloudy out.
Skied on the right side, shallow right field. Machado circling. And 1 gone. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Ram, hurry in and get a great deal during Ram Truck Month. And by Marygrove Awnings, home of the best Michigan-made shade. One gone here in the 6th inning. Adams retired. Here's Sierra. Single fly ball for Sierra. Fouled away. Talking about Carpenter not having pitched in the big leagues to this point. Trying to get there with the Tigers this season. 3 years in the Rays organization and the last 4 years in the Rockies system. Comes over to the Tigers this year, and they are trying to learn about him as spring camp goes on and vice versa. Albuquerque last year won 10 ball games. He's 27 years old, out of Glendale, Arizona. Went around. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Moises Sierra. Here's the 2-2 right off the mask. Tigers starter today was Matt Boyd. He went 3 scoreless innings, had a couple of walks, but no damage. Carpenter came out of the 4th inning, still out there.
And Matt Boyd continues to throw the ball good. Vying to be one of the regular starters. Looking for 30 starts. Jerry, he could have got away with a hit batsman right there. Sierra could have.
Full count now, 3-2.
Well, you want to back foot it when you throw that pitch, so they're certainly doing that. They're getting into there deep.
Ooh, he got him chase high. Down he goes.
Hey, let's take a look at big boys' big plays of the game. Tigers been preaching fundamentals a little bit. John Hicks having a good day. Good swing and miss and a throw out. Then they go with the back pick over at first base. Good communication. Nick Carpenter with the step-off move. 3 outs on the bases by the Nationals today. Tigers with good, I should say, great execution, and it's a preview of what we hope to see. Find a way out of it. Fix it. That works.
He was able to fix it in the 5th inning, surrendering just the 1 run after the infield ground ball by Defoe scored a run. And Carpenter was able to get out of that jam, but certainly it's been held up by the defense. One ball and 1 strike.
Stevenson had a bunt his last time up, so you want to make sure you take that away. Not looking for any 2-out trouble.
Mark Montgomery is now warming in the Tigers bullpen. Stevenson got it started in the 5th inning with a bunt single. Then was picked on. Ooh, good pitch. He takes it looking for strike 3 and a snappy 6th. for Carpenter. th at 1 p.m. for some St. Patrick's Day baseball. Tigers taking on the Yankees on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Tigers and Yanks coming up this Saturday at 1 p.m. Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Put us on your calendar and tune us in next Saturday. We have a wall-side windows pitching change. Enny Romero is in.
2-0 record this spring, vying for a spot as they all are. Is pitched for the Rays many years. He's got 129 games, only started one in his whole career. Kind of a high strikeout, over 9 strikeouts per 9 in his career.
27-year-old out of the Dominican Republic, and he'll go to work down in the 6th inning facing Candelario. Jamer shoots one on the ground up the middle. Defoe throws to bounce. 1 pitch, 1 gone.
Yeah, Candelario would like that back. Fastball outside corner, first pitch running away. You're hoping you can get a nice juicy pitch in the middle of the plate. Not too high, not too low. Easier said than done.
Here is Castellanos. Nicholas is 0 for 2 this afternoon.
Probably did that 1,000 times.
Ball 1 high. It's a tough game, man.
Oh, it is. They get tricky out there. You get anxious. Think you're going to jump that first fastball. Here's a guy comes in out of the bullpen. You're pretty sure you're going to get the heater. You get the heater, but it's just...
It's a fair ball to third base. And Castellanos is out. Nick thought it was a foul ball, but it stayed fair.
2 ground balls. Was that 3-4 pitches?
Yeah. Romero trying to make quick work of the Tigers here in the 6th. Here's Victor. Singled in the 4th inning, 1 for 2. Victor batting right-handed against the lefty here. Skies this one deep to left field. That's going to the track. It's going to the wall, and it's going to bounce over the wall onto the berm. It'll be a double for Victor. He jumped the left-hander and almost hit it out.
That ball was out of straightaway left field, and the wind blew it down way down range there, and the ball did not make it out. Victor, when he hit it, and I said gone.
Yeah, look, gone off the bat easily.
Look how far that wind blows this ball. Look where he starts, and he's heading down range. We got a pinch runner.
2 out, 2 base hit. Now Hicks will try and drive him in.
Gets Alex Amarista.
Here is Amarista. Tigers trying to break a 1-1 tie here in the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hicks. Well, that wind has that flag starched out to right field, and it robbed Victor Martinez of a home run. Two and 1. Amarista's a little guy. There's that flag.
Tell you what, he's got some sock though. Amarista does. Runs well, can play all positions. He has, certainly in the infield, has played some outfield as well, Amarista.
High fly ball center field.
Wynn's got it.
Chasing Bautista back, still going. He can't get it up against the wall. That'll get a run in. Hicks is on his way to third, and they're going to stop him there. John Hicks has broken the tie. It's 2-1 Tigers. The wind taketh away, the wind giveth.
Yeah, you could see that ball from, we had a great view right here, went straight away, and then it just took off. He hit it well. It's got afterburners on it. And it's a bad feeling if you're an outfielder when you don't get out in front of this ball. And unable to make the catch, you get by that wall. That's very tough. Say, doesn't know where he's at right there. That's Bautista out there.
Well, you talk about a challenge. You've got the sun to battle with. You've got the wind to battle with. You've got the wall to battle with.
Makes you better.
Strike 1 on Matuk. Mikey in the ball game is 0 for 2, ground out, fly out. Trying to pad the Tigers' lead here in the 6th. Tigers now have 6 hits in this game. Oh, that's going to get to the backstop. Here comes Hicks, and he's safe at home plate. Wild pitch gives the Tigers another run.
Good read up here by John Hicks. Ball comes off pretty hard off of the backstop there. Most pitchers, that's a hard run in there from the mound to stop, catch the ball, and make the tag. Plus, you don't really want to step in front of that. That's a dangerous play. But the Tigers get the run. Good job by John Hicks. Good hustle around the bases and a good read on the wild pitch.
Eddie Romero got a couple of very quick outs, and then Victor jumped him on the first pitch and doubled. Then the triple by Hicks.
Now, Victor, it's kind of a better move because when he had 2 outs on 3 pitches,
right?
So
you expect he's taking.
Pitchers would say, "Oh, he's going to take." Victor said, "Nope, I'm going to jump him." Got a good pitch and bang.
Mikey hammers
Run.
one deep to left field. That ball going to the track, and it's going to be caught by Bautista. So the wind is making its presence known here in the 6th inning, but the Tigers get a couple of runs and they lead 3-1. left in a 3-1 ball game. The Tigers have the lead.
He's pumped.
And now in a wall side windows pitching change, here's Mark Montgomery.
A record of 1-1. You see the ERA. Mostly out of the bullpen, no starts, 4 1/3 innings. 6 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. Got some life on the ball. Was with the Mud Hens last year.
Pedro Severino will lead things off. It'll be Severino, Brignac, and Reynolds, the bottom 3 scheduled here in the 7th inning as Montgomery goes to work. And standing by now with today's starting pitcher, Matt Boyd. Here's Ron Allen.
Well, thank you very much, Mario and Matthew, kind enough to stop by and answer a couple of questions for us. Matthew, 3 innings today. You did walk a couple of batters here today, but your pitching coach was on earlier, Mr. Bazio, and he said he didn't have a problem with that because they were borderline pitches. But how did you feel about the way you threw the ball today?
Felt good, yeah. Felt good today. Was using everything for the most part, and I like to not walk anybody, but can't control what goes on in terms of after you release the ball. Just maybe make an adjustment a few pitches earlier so you don't get into a 3-2 count. But yeah, I'm happy with the way I threw it today, and man, Hicksy made a few good throws there to save a few pitches in the early innings too.
When you're down here as a starting pitcher, last year you were in a fight for that number 5 spot with Anibal Sanchez. Obviously, you won that spot. This year, what are you working on in spring training? Anything specific?
Making everything as game-like as possible. Staying within myself on the mound, my demeanor, my delivery, attacking with my fastball, using all my pitches. Want to be able to use everything because that's something that, I can bring me success. So using all my pitches, attacking the zone, and really trying to make everything as game-like as possible.
We talked about the 3 innings that you threw in the game today, but you also went down to the bullpen afterwards and threw a couple of more innings. What goes into the deciding factor of you going back down there to get more work?
Threw 65 pitches last week, so come out here and, I threw 30 more to get up to 75, 80 today. And just simulate throwing 5 innings worth, getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down. That's part of the toughest part of spring training, is getting ready to get up, get down, get up, get down, and hopefully doing that 9 times when the season starts. But, that's kind of the biggest thing as a pitcher, to keep doing that and come out with your sharp stuff.
As a very young pitcher, when you've had a couple different pitching coaches since you've been in the big leagues, how do you differentiate a lot of the conversation that maybe, not that they're overcoaching, but sometimes you can get too much information, and you've had 3 or 4 different big league coaches already?
Yeah. The biggest thing is you want to be open, you want to be coachable, you want to try everything, and then at the same time you figure out what works for you and then you apply it. And no, you can't be closed-minded. You got to always be open, and we're very fortunate to have an awesome pitching coach in Boz, and he's really helped me out in numerous ways this spring, and I'm just excited to get work with him all year and continue to work with him, and we're very fortunate to have him on our staff.
As a big league starter, to have a guy like Francisco Liriano, who the team just signed, a guy that has a real nice pedigree, he's been in the big leagues, he has 4 different pitches. How is it for a guy like yourself to get a chance to watch him go about his business?
It's really special. It's a guy that you watched when he debuted. I mean, he was a guy I was watching in high school because he has a nasty 2-seam, he has a nasty slider, nasty changeup, and it's similar, so you try to learn as much as you can from him. Now that I get to watch his every day and day out bullpens and whatnot, and get to have dialogue with him, it's flattering, but it's also it's really special and something that that I can grow from.
All right, thank you very much for your time. All right, back upstairs to you guys. You guys are sounding great today.
All right, Rod, thank you. Another nice job down there with Matt Boyd, who did a very good job here this afternoon. Another good start for Matthew this spring.
Yeah, he's been solid.
Matt Reynolds standing in now with 1 on, 1 out here in the 7th. Montgomery delivers low.
Looking at Montgomery's numbers, he's been really good down in the minor leagues. 8 years, or I should say 8 teams. 240 hits in 352 innings. Has walked a few.
But his strikeouts per 9 are way up. Over 11, about 11 and a half in the minor leagues.
Opponents hitting 191, 1.08 whip, but that 140 walks. It's Pretty good. You can see right here, he spots the ball, fastball up in the low 90s, lots of off-speed pitches.
Well, he's gone behind 3-0 on Reynolds, who's been on base twice already today. A walk. He was also hit by a pitch.
Get a double play.
He'll take, and it's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk for Reynolds, who reaches again. 2 on with 1 out. We'll bring up Rafael Bautista. His first at bat came on as a replacement for Brian Goodwin, the starting center fielder today. Bautista, 25-year-old out of Santo Domingo. Only 17 games last year at the major league level. And he'll look at a strike right at the knees. Tying runs around here for the Nationals in the 7th. Tigers lead at 3-1.
Getting a little quiet here, trying to get all the changes in order. This is the time of spring training games where they really empty the benches.
And there comes a time where you just kind of give up.
No, we can't give up. I think we're getting it down.
Oh, 2. Last year, Montgomery with a whip of under 1 at AAA last season. Missed it inside. Got a lot is made of the, actually not made of the free agents that clubs will sign, some of the under the radar moves that teams will make. A lot of those moves are for depth within the organization. So if you don't make the big league club out of spring camp, the Tigers and all clubs actually try and restock their minor league teams.
Well, yeah, they have 9 teams, the Tigers do now, 2 in the Dominican. So you have to have depth. People get hurt, so you have to have people ready to go. And there are different types of free agents. You hear about the Eric Hosmers. Those are one type of free agent. The Francisco Lirianos. This is a necessity of the Tigers this year. They went out and got him. He's got lots of experience. He was in the World Series last year. That's exactly what they need. He's a veteran guy. And you have, guys that are free agents don't want to be free agents. But sometimes you pick on guys that have been in the game a bit, have not had the success yet, but still have the tools.
Of course, Jake Arrieta was one of those high-priced free agents in the Hosmer category. He was signed yesterday by the Phillies to a 3-year deal, but there are still some guys out there that are available. That's skied in the air to left field. Here comes Cam Gibson. Drifting under it, the wind giving him a little bit of trouble, but Cam stayed with it nicely.
His dad didn't catch that.
His dad's heart just skipped a beat.
I got quiet. First. It's windy, it's sunny.
Oh, man.
He's got better hands than I do.
You know, when he first came in, I thought this is not a good day because the wind is just howling out to right field. It's a typical spring day, but, I mean, the wind is really going today.
He wouldn't drop that. His grandmother's here.
Oh, okay. Well, wish you'd have told me that before. 2 outs now. There's a strike called on Wilmer Defoe.
Defoe's had a chance to do some damage today, had some runners on. Had a hit his last time up. Now, if I was an outfielder, a left fielder, or a center fielder, I would definitely cheat over towards the downwind side, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because you know it's going down there. So over to his right. Jacoby Jones looks like he's adjusted pretty much over that way.
Chased up top, 1-2.
That was from K-Line 101 there, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah. He taught me that one a long time ago. He also taught me to get the number 6 double blacks from Al K-Line, the Al K-Line models. These glasses were so dark when you looked up into the sky. The sun had no glare at all. It was just a little tiny sun. It was tricky finding the ball. It doesn't matter here. His deep ball goes down on strikes.
Nice job by Cam Gibson and Montgomery. 3-1 Tigers. This afternoon from Lakeland, Matt Boyd went 3 innings, struck out 3, did not allow a run, and Hicks with a big triple in the 6th inning, which helped the Tigers take the lead. But all in all, a pretty good day for Matt Boyd today, Gibby.
Very good. Continues to develop his pitches and learning to. We saw when he walked a couple of the batters with his off-speed pitches just missed. That's what he's going to try and perfect this year, so he can use it in the regular season and get the strike.
Matt Grace now has come out of the bullpen for the Nationals.
There you see 0-0. He's got a 1.80, 4 games out of the pen. He has given up 7 hits, a couple strikeouts, allowed a couple of runs. From Palos Verdes High School, went to the University of California in Los Angeles.
29-year-old left-hander facing Edwin Espinal, who gets it started in the Tigers' 7th. 3-1 Tigers in the lead today. Ground ball short, routine there, and 1 gone. Espinal retired. We'll bring up Jacoby Jones.
Get these guys to try and read up on him, see where they're going to end up. Everybody gets an opportunity. Did pitch last year in Syracuse. A little cup of coffee with the Nats. Tell you what, every team's looking for good lefties, aren't they? Especially in the pen.
Well, they sure are.
I mean, even beyond lefty on lefty, there is an art. There's many righties who do not hit lefties as good as they do righties, which is what we call a reverse split.
But the Tigers had a good one in Travis Wood in spring camp before he got injured.
Yeah, he got hurt. But you know, if you got a lefty who's got a good ground ball rate, that's something that's important. Get into a jam late in a game, or you're looking for a gap guy, 5th of the 6th inning.
Jones called out on strikes, 2 gone.
I don't think he liked that pitch. Looked inside.
2 up, 2 down now, and here is Pete Kozma. He'll get his first at bat. Ball 1.
Talked to Pete today for quite some time. You know, he's 29 years old now. He's been on some pretty good teams, been up in the big leagues, played a year in the minor leagues, really likes the game. You know, everybody wants to get to the big leagues, but you know, playing in the minor leagues, AAA, it's much better than it used to be. It's a good, if you love the game, it's a good spot, the second option. You got a chance always to get to the bigs again, have a role, you never know. You might get a chance to get lucky, right? Have a huge moment and add to the history of the game.
Yeah, why not? Kozma signed as a free agent in January. A long time ago was a #1 pick of the Cardinals. And he'll take a 4-pitch walk. That'll keep the inning going. Here is Sergio Alcantara.
Got Alcantara from the Diamondbacks. I remember seeing this young man over in the Dominican when I went over there with the Diamondbacks. Kind of neat. You know, he was 16 years old then. See how they develop.
You know, it's easy to say, yeah, the kid was 16 years old and pro ball was just signed. I mean, think about that, 16 years old.
Well, that's what they do over there. They get to go to the academies. They get their education there. They learn how to type, learn how to use a computer, learn the language. And they have a dream of coming over here to the United States and playing baseball. But, you know, with the games that we televise, you see some younger kids, but, you know, you see guys as they move up when they're mature. But when you look at a 16-year-old kid, these guys who scout and project these kids are very good at what they do.
Runner goes, beautifully done, slapped into right field. Kozma, he's on his way to third, and Alcantara with a base hit. Seven Tigers hits now in the afternoon.
Kozma was going on the pitch, had a good jump. Alcantara just serves it right up there, right into the vacated hole. Got first and third with 2 down.
Tigers trying to build on a 3-1 lead. Here is Ronnie Rodriguez.
Ronnie Rodriguez, the guy looking for a utility role in this team as well.
Oh, 0-1.
These pitchers, you get a couple guys on base, they know you're going to be anxious. More and more you see the off-speed pitch coming. Like the olden days where you got challenged. The old wives' tale was you'd get more fastballs in the National League than you would the American League.
Now he's down 0-2.
Yeah, you want to step out and regroup here, 0-2.
Rodriguez had a really big year at AAA last year. 17 homers, hit nearly 300. Tigers gobbled him up as a free agent in November, and at one time was a top 10 prospect in the Indian system.
We had a play first and third. Sparky put it in where the guy in first acts like he's jumping early and stumbles and falls down, and you take off from third. So he put it on with Lou on first and me on third in Seattle. I took off and Lou went back to the bag. We were toast.
I was going to say, what was the end result of that play?
It wasn't good. So I'm on third base.
Right.
I take a lead. I start walking down. The second that I take off, the guy at first takes off. So you're trying to get him to look over to throw to first.
Right.
And then you kind of stumble like he's got you easy.
That's the kind of play you see in summer ball or in high school.
Well, Sparky wanted us to do it.
Now-
Didn't work.
Okay, did you try it after that?
No.
Yeah, that was it. Huh? You shut it down. Swing and a miss. And Rodriguez goes down swinging to end the inning. No runs. Tigers get a hit and a walk lead 2. And Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Saturday is Masahiro Tanaka and Matthew Boyd are scheduled to go in that game. Now, if the pitching rotation stayed the same, that could be the matchup. Tanaka last year a 13-game winner. Of course, we saw Matt Boyd pitch again here today.
Matt was good. We got a new pitcher, Enrique Burgos, another guy that I had down in the Arizona organization, throws extremely hard. Tigers signed him this year, hoping that he can find the strike zone and use that talent. 38 walks last year, and that's been the problem. Can locate the ball and feel they can be effective. Might be a good piece for the Tigers here as we move into this year and when they need some depth.
Spencer Keyboom will stand in now. He'll bat for Robles. And Burgos delivers strike 1. Keyboom, one of their top prospects as well. He is rated 3rd by MLB.com in the Washington system. So what would you say if this guy were to hit a home run?
He's got good pop.
No, he went Keyboom. Get it? That's his name. Kaboom. Keyboom. Alrighty.
Keyboom or kaboom?
Work with me here, Gibby. Work with me.
Yeah, you know me. I'm on a little different wavelength.
Spencer's
Hey, the
last.
lights are on, so.
Are they really? Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Why?
Full moon.
It's 3 o'clock in the
Got
afternoon.
a couple educational things planned for this year already.
That'll miss low. There they are.
Birds are quiet today. The osprey, he must be out fishing. You ever heard of the H.H. Hundley?
No.
Okay.
Here's a 3-1. It's slapped out of play. 3-2. You're just going to shut it down there?
Yeah, just file that into something to be revisited in the Kirk Gibson files of useless information during the baseball game.
Which is a rather expansive file, I'm here to tell you.
People are, I guarantee you, they're hitting it right now.
They are. If I had time, I'd Google it as well. Burgos now with the 3-2. Ball 4.
Going hard, 96, unable to control.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. And by Mary Grove Awnings, home of the best Michigan-made shade. This has really turned into a nice afternoon, the wind notwithstanding, and the temperature's a little bit cooler, but sunny, breezy out here at the ballpark today after a lot of rain this morning. Burgos with the 1-0. Fouled back out of play. Jose Marmolejos is the batter.
Looking at Burgos' numbers right here. He really hasn't walked many in spring so far. However, he did walk the leadoff runner here.
And with a 3-1 lead, Tigers don't want any free passes here late in this game. Boyd pitched, Carpenter, Montgomery. Now Burgos here for the Tigers this afternoon. Saw Joe Jimenez come into the ball game late yesterday and did a really good job. In fact, he had a 1-2-3 ninth inning to shut down yesterday's game. There's a ground ball, base hit right field, and now the Nationals have 2 men on, nobody out.
Yeah, Joe, you can tell he's getting refined, getting some polish on that ability. It wasn't long ago where many were wanting to rush Jimenez. He got a little sniff last year, but it was obvious he wasn't quite ready. And he's come back this year with better location on his fastball, and the slider is becoming much more effective, able to control it. And a little two-seam run. I don't know if that's a two-seamer. It's just that he's learning how to turn that ball over and have it run away.
Ball 1 is Sierra. Well, Jimenez could be a huge deal if he can really pitch well this year and take that next step in the Tigers bullpen, a much needed piece.
The Tigers will have to make sure that they don't overtax the youngster. Don't want to get him too tired. So just a little outfield thought right here. If the ball comes to you on a one-hop line drive, where do you throw? Home, or just keep that guy at second base from first? Got a 3-1 lead.
3-1 lead.
So you want to keep making the most important guy right now is the guy at the plate. That would be the go-ahead run.
Zach Reininger warming up in the Tigers pen, and Burgos kind of stumbled a bit after that last pitch.
Caught a spike or something.
Yep. Here goes Matt Rankin to take a look at him.
You're going to see he catches a spike there.
Ooh.
Just like that mound is drying out. Huh? This is one of the ways you'll see, I predict this year's, as a visit tactic from a time or two, especially as you get into the postseason next year.
Yeah, you know, I never thought of that.
Trainer comes out, they're going to take him out.
Burgos coming out of the game, so Reininger will be summoned out of the bullpen, and hopefully nothing too serious for Burgos. Enrique just lost his footing, so he's coming out of the ball game and will step aside in a 3-1 Tigers lead.
Happy 48 to Sidney Brown. Aylan Dooley is 2 years old today. Ian Dooley is 1. Maybe enjoying his first game.
Had 2 men on, nobody out, and the Tigers going to the bullpen here. Burgos out of the game with an apparent injury, and he'll be replaced by the right-hander, Zach Reininger.
Well, Reininger, this Chris Bosio couldn't have done any better. He's been rumored to get guys up when they don't expect it, and because of the injury, Zach Reininger is in the game, and you get to warm up on the pitcher mound in front of everybody. That's a little different routine, isn't it? That's the old saying, get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's gets you a little uncomfortable. Then you got to get right at it with men on first and second, nobody out. Good for him. That's what you want to see. Talked about it earlier.
So Reininger is ready to go. He appeared in the big leagues last year with the Tigers. In fact, he pitched at 3 levels last year before getting his first major league opportunity. And now we've got Moises Sierra here with 2 men on, nobody out. We're in the 8th.
Does have a 1-2 count, though. Inheriting that. Something in his favor. Chase pitch right here.
Swing and a miss, and he chased. So Sierra is out of there.
That's hard to hit her, too. Ball's not even close. Just Reininger's got a long arm lever motion way out of the zone and a good stop.
Here is Juan Soto. Ball 1 to Soto. Soto, one of the minor leaguers for the Nationals, only 19 years old. And he'll look at a strike.
Boy, that'd be an exciting time, wouldn't it? 19 years old, playing in the big leagues.
Joined the Nationals a couple of years ago as a 17-year-old and was inserted into their system after they signed him. Hammer to the air to left field and hit pretty good. That's going to go up against the wall and get 1 run in. They're going to hold the runner at third base, and Soto has himself a double and an RBI. He shot the gap in left center field.
Ball got up in the breeze and down towards left center field. Uncatchable. The leadoff walk hurts.
3-2 ball game now. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second.
Ball up and away, and Soto does a good job of staying on top of it and getting up in the breeze. Jacoby or Cam cannot catch it.
Here is Chris Dominguez. Strike 1 on Dominguez. Reininger was an 8th round pick of the Tigers back in 2013, went to Hill College in Texas. And he is one of the pitchers that had to undergo the Tommy John surgery. He had that back in 2015. He missed most of 2016. The 0-2. Oh, that's going to get away and scored the tying run. Right through Greiner to the backstop to make it a 3-3 ball game.
Well, Tigers got their 3rd run on a wild pitch, and the Tigers have a similar situation here. Greiner, I know he expected to catch this one, dropped down. I think he may have misjudged it a little bit. Didn't bounce. That's tough. You got a tie game.
Now the go-ahead run at third, the infield coming in for the Tigers. Still only 1 out. Reininger needs a strikeout here. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Yeah, looking ahead into the season, if you have a pitcher who's a ground ball pitcher, I don't know what Reininger's stats are on that. You know, you see some teams bring in the 5th guy here. 5th infielder. We know it's not going to be in the air. Tigers are looking.
Little looper into left and a base hit. He fought it off to give the Nationals the lead. An RBI single by Dominguez.
Yeah, he did a good job. Ball's in on the inside part of the plate. Jammed him, broke his bat, went down a winner. The big RBI. Did a good job of pulling his hands in right there. Did Dominguez. That's that play right there reminds me of the 2001 World Series. Remember Joe Torre?
I do.
Do you bring him in or do you leave him back?
Right.
Joe Torre brings him in. Luis Gonzalez, little jam shot.
Little chopper back up the middle. They'll get the out at first base. Garcia retired. Advance the runner at second.
But I absolutely would bring my infielders in that situation.
Here is Adrian Sanchez. First lead of the ball game for the Nationals, and it comes here in the 8th. 1 ball and no strikes on Sanchez. Burgos started the inning, walked a batter, gave up a single, and then was hurt. And Reininger coming in. So the first 2 runs in this 3-run 8th belong to Burgos. Inside, back to Monitor.
See that Reininger likes to throw the ball in. A lot of pitches into the right-handed hitters.
Zach last year had Lakeland, then Erie, then Toledo. Had an ERA of 2.54 combined in all 3 of those stops. The 2-0.
Tigers have used a few pitchers today. Of course, when you're in spring training, you bring a lot of extra guys over. You bring minor leaguers. They bring these minor leaguers in here for mini camp, so they're ready to participate in games like today. You schedule your big league club. You keep guys on the schedule. You don't overextend them. You want to have them ready for opening day unhurt. So we're going to see some of these youngsters in the game get a chance to come back and get a win.
Reininger has gone to 3-1 now on Sanchez. And he lost him, ball 4. That is the 2nd walk in this inning for Tigers pitching. And here's the 8th man to bat in the inning now. It's Rafael Bautista.
You got to get a good quality pitcher for a strike. Get ahead in this count. Both Burgos and Reininger have had trouble with their command.
Strike 1. Tigers still trying to sort through that bullpen. Who exactly will be in that pen once the Tigers break camp? Of course, we talk about Shane Green will be the closer, and you know Alex Wilson will be in that bullpen, a veteran guy. Little chopper right back to the mound. Reininger will take care of this one to retire the side. They send 8 men to the plate, and the Nationals have a 4-3 lead. here at Lakeland.
Let's take a look at the Bell Tire plays of the game. Who had a good game today? John Hicks. Boy, it looked like it was going to be a stolen base. Rocket about a 1-8 throw. Then he back picks to first base. 2 outs by John Hicks' arm, and then he hits the big RBI triple in the 6th. That put the Tigers up 2-1. Then he scored on the wild pitch right here. Heads up, barely sneaks in there. That gave the Tigers a 3-1 lead. Right now the Tigers trail 4-3. Here as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
So the Tigers looking for a run or two here in the 8th inning, and they will face Austin Adams. He has come on to pitch.
Austin Adams, you see getting into 4 games this year, 3 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, so he's got something for you.
Well, you ought to know this first guy is facing. Cam Gibson will step in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th. You look at a ball high, 1-0. Can we call Cam Gibby too?
Stop.
Why?
I didn't know they put him in that spot there.
Neither did I. Had him in the 7th spot, but he'll lead things off here in the 8th. Cam skies one in the air. Left side of the infield. It's going to drift a little bit and almost fall. 1 gone. Boy, the sun, the wind, wreaking havoc.
The designated hitter, Alexei Arista.
We'll let Mario break down the swing.
No, I'm not breaking anything down. You're the professional
Another
here.
fastball got on top. Just drop that head down below a little bit. Does have a familiar look to that swing, though.
Very familiar.
He wants that pitch back, trust me.
Here's Alexei Amarista. Ball 1. First at bat of the ball game for Amarista.
Amarista, extensive Major League experience. Competed against him quite a bit when he was with the Padres. You say he's got some sock in his bat.
This one to center field playable. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th.
The catcher,
And Grayson Griner will get his first at bat of the day. Griner's been a couple of years in the Tigers system now.
Tall for a catcher. Don't see many tall catchers, do you?
I think you can go with Matt Wieters these days.
Joe Mauer did
Mauer.
for a while,
Yeah.
but overall, not a lot of big, tall guys. But Griner is certainly on the taller.
Matt Wieters is from South Carolina, and Grayson Griner went to college at South Carolina.
So the tall ones come from South Carolina.
Apparently so.
Come through him.
6'6", 220 for Grayson Griner.
Tigers have another exciting prospect in, was it Jake Rogers?
He came over in the Verlander deal. 2 balls and 1 strike. Griner last year hit 14 home runs between Erie and Toledo. That was a career high in the minors.
Can never have enough catchers. Tell you, tough position.
2-2.
Got to be tough to be back there, taking those foul tips, blocking those pitches, making sure your pitchers are where they need to be, and then getting the bat. You can't take your at bat to your defensive position, where you really can't in any spot, but really important as a catcher.
Down he goes. Griner down on strikes in a 1-2-3 inning for Adams. We're headed to the 9th in Lakeland. yesterday. Another one of the big free agents that is off the list, but there are still some pretty big names out there, including Greg Holland and Jose Bautista.
Yeah, Greg Holland, 41 saves in 2017. He did have arm problems before that. Jose Bautista, I mean, these guys are, some of them are a little bit older, but still on the board, still looking for a job. And Arrieta coming off the board was the real big one. Who's going to get him? And the Phillies went ahead and did that. I know the Nationals were trying to sign him, but Phillies took him. So a couple still out there. Somebody's going to be looking for some depth. Now, if somebody gets hurt, Mario, late here in spring training, I think you might see some action on some of these guys. It's been an interesting year for free agents. Used to be something that you wanted to do, and it's been a little different this year. We got a new pitcher. We're not sure who he is right now. We'll work on that for you.
So as we go to the 9th inning, it'll be Jonathan Solano to lead things off. James Russell is our new pitcher for the Tigers. And there's a strike called in the inside part of the plate. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Move around and stay in the sun. He didn't bring anybody, right? He didn't bring anybody. He's still working.
Russell, big guy, 6'4", 205-pounder. It'll bounce in.
Tigers trail 4-3, top 9. Want to keep it there. Don't want to let them add on. Give yourself a chance to come back, scratch one out, and if you have to, go to extra innings and win this game.
Here's the 1-2, hit on the ground and through, a base hit. Look at single for Solano. Here is Spencer Keyboom.
What happens if he hits home run?
Keyboom.
My goodness.
He walked and scored his last time up. I'm sure he's never, ever heard that before. Old Spencer. He'll drive one to left field. Gibson on the move. He'll play it on one hop. And Solano will go to second base. There are 2 men on now with nobody out.
Tigers bullpen having some troubles here.
Tigers had a 3-1 lead, surrendered that lead in the 3-run 8th, and now the Nationals are threatening again here in the 9th.
Hitting a lot of balls on the ground, and see the infield starting to dry out. The sun's out. The infield's turned fairly quick. Finding some gaps.
Here is Jose Marmolejos, and he looks at a strike call.
Need a double play right now.
The 0-1. In the air to right center field. Runners will tag but hold, and Marmolejos retired, one away.
Just recapping, Matt Boyd started it off, 3 innings, no runs, give up a hit. Carpenter, 3 innings. Montgomery ran into, actually he threw a scoreless, and then Burgos, Reininger, and Russell. Russell started out with a couple guys on here. They've struggled a bit. You got guys trying to secure spots on the team at the beginning, and some guys trying to impress for maybe a later call-up here at the end of the game.
Here's Moises Sierra. Victor Reyes made that last play out there in right field, and he, of course, was the Rule 5 draft the Tigers selected this year, and we'll see if he sticks with the ball club. He has to stay with the ball club or be offered back. Tigers like his tools.
Yeah, I think what is it, 50,000 to cost them to get him, and then they get 25 back. Good block by Griner right there.
Two and 0 on Sierra. 2 on, 1 out here in the ninth. Just missed 3 and 0. Well, tomorrow the Tigers are taking on the Yankees. They'll be on the road, and we'll pick up the Yankees broadcast for you tomorrow. So we'll have it on Fox Sports Detroit at 1 o'clock. Tigers and Yankees from Tampa.
We'll be on the 17th. Is that against the Yankees too?
That is against the Yankees on St. Patty's Day. So the walk will load the bases now for the Nationals. Here's Juan Soto.
So 2 walks here in the inning.
Tigers signed Russell as a free agent. It's not pitched in the big league since 2012. Swing and a miss, good pitch.
Again, we talk about how you get bases loaded and 1 out. You may have a little pressure on you, but those hitters, they get excited and they get aggressive, and that's where you want to make a real good pitch and get that ground ball double play.
Russell last year was playing independent baseball. He's gone to the Mexican leagues as well. Hasn't been in the minor leagues here in the States since 2016. The 1-1. Two balls to 1 strike. Low and away, and now the count goes 3-1 with no place to put it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to throw this one down the middle.
15 pitches, 8 balls and 7 strikes for the left-hander.
It's not the ratio he's looking for, of course.
Walked in ball 4, that'll force in a run.
That's going to be it.
Solano comes in to score the 5th run of the game for the Nationals, 5-3. And it appears that's going to be it for James Russell. So Gardy will take the baseball. We will take a break and step aside with the Nationals on top, 5-3. this year. Mark it down on your calendar, March 29th against the Pirates, but they give you a lot of other good stuff going on this season.
Yeah, you got Mother's Day, Memorial Day. Cubs for Interleague this year, huh? And the Cardinals. So we got the 1968 World Series Championship 50th anniversary weekend, and we also have the retirement of Tram and Jack's jerseys. All be good time.
So it's John Schreiber coming out of the Tigers bullpen now to face Chris Dominguez with the bases loaded, a run in, and still only one out for the Nationals.
Yeah, Schreiber, a youngster actually in the game. He's 24 years old, 15th round of the 16 draft, and West Michigan last year, 5-1, so he's in a big league game. He's got the adrenaline going, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you see, he's a local kid. He went to Gibraltar, or went to high school in Gibraltar, and born in Wyandotte.
This little funky, drops down a little bit. He's got some angle.
Just got a piece of that one, fouled it off. The count is 0-2.
If you could put yourself out there right now, you come in with the bases loaded and one out, what do you think it'd feel like?
Well, the heart would be pumping, that's for sure.
Looks real close. Nevertheless, get a nice ground ball, begging for a double play.
The 0-2. That'll get fouled.
The Nats have done a pretty good job on the inside pitches of the Tigers, fighting them off, only to get a pitch to find a hole. The walks have hurt them, 3 in the inning. Hurt the Tigers, that is.
Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Schreiber comes out of the bullpen, strikes out Dominguez.
Feels a little better, a little more relaxed. Again, look at the angle. He comes from down low 3/4 to sidearm. Little slider right there. Dominguez goes down.
Well, Schreiber last year gave hitters fits in the Midwest League at West Michigan. Pumps in a strike to Luis Garcia. ERA of 0.54 in 27 appearances.
70 strikeouts in 50 and a third innings.
In there, a strike call. The count is 0-2. A little bit outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Garcia. Russell started the inning, had trouble with his control. He walked a couple, gave up a couple of hits. Slapped out of play. Let's see, the Tigers today have had Boyd, Carpenter, Montgomery, Burgos, Reininger, Russell, and now Schreiber. Just off the plate. You know Jerry Lane wanted to call that one, but he just couldn't. A little bit outside.
No. Let's take a look. Ball runs. Yeah, it's the umpires remain very dedicated down here.
Fouled away.
You can see Garcia just really shortening up with 2 strikes. He's just going to try and slap and run it, beat it out.
And again, he stays alive.
Just looking at Schreiber, be easier on the lefties, easier for the lefties to see, maybe come on to the inside swing and back on the plate.
In the air to center field, and nice job by Schreiber. He'll leave the bases loaded, but another run in for the Nationals. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, 5-3 Washington. We were kind of hoping the Nationals would bring Bryce Harper to the ball game today. We're going to have to do with Ryan Harper. He is on now for the Nats.
His namesake, Ryan Harper. Thrown in 4 games so far this year in spring training, 4 innings pitched. Has struck out 1, and he's been in the minor league system since 2011. He was in Double-A last year, so good guy to get on and give it a little Tiger initiation.
Victor Reyes will get things started for the Tigers offensively here in the 9th. First at bat of the day for Reyes. Ball 1 to Victor. 23-year-old out of Venezuela. Tigers selected him from Arizona in the Rule 5 draft this past offseason.
Yeah, and probably going to want to try and keep him if they can. He's shown pretty well. Tall, athletic, runs good, very good outfielder, plays all 3 outfield positions. Just would like to see if his bat delivers or develops. You know, he's right there, he has the tools.
Reyes had a pretty good offseason in the Arizona Fall League. Hit .316, stole 12 bases. Two and two on Victor.
Be interesting to be a Rule 5 guy. You know, you go to a different organization. It's probably a strange feeling to be in a new organization, but then you start to like it. You get comfortable, and then you have to go back possibly. And it's not like organizations when they put a player out there, one of your own players for the Rule 5, that you don't like him. It's just, it becomes a roster decision. Somebody has to go off the 40-man roster. You're only allowed 40. Many times they Ender and Ciarte from we saw yesterday with the Braves. We put him to the Rule 5 drafts. The Phillies picked him up, returned him to us. He turned out to be a great player. So it's not that you're not a good player. It's just that you have a system to sort through your rosters, and Reyes is in that situation here with the Tigers.
Ground ball to short results in a ground out for Reyes, 1 away. Here's Chad Huffman. So Huffman with 1 out. The difference here this afternoon has been the Nationals rather, have gotten a lot of pretty good efforts out of their bullpen today, where the Tigers just were not able to hold on to a 3-1 lead.
The Tigers bullpen unable. Some of the youngsters getting a chance to come into the game. A lot of walks, a couple walks, and put pressure on the Tigers pitching to shut them down. It's hard to, it'll work a time or two, but when it happens, you keep the pressure on you and get a hit here or there, it's going to cost you, and it has so far. Chad Huffman, though, looking to start a rally. Tigers trail by 2, 5-3.
Huffman last year at AAA with Washington for part of the year. St. Louis part of the year as well. He'll roll that one toward third base. And Huffman is out, 2 gone. Tigers down to their final out. And it'll be Mike Gerber standing in. Gerber really starting to come into his own now. He's starting to put together some good minor league seasons, a terrific defensive outfielder.
He's a solid player. Real solid, really does it all. He's got more pop in his bat than you think, but his solid bat, runs well. Good outfielder, he could play all 3. He may be a sleeper.
Skies this one high in the air to right center field, picking up some steam, going to the wall, and gone. Gerber with a solo shot with 2 outs to make it a 1-run ball game. He was solid there.
Yep, got ahead in the count. Put a good swing. He's got more pop than you think he does. The ball jumps off his bat. Ball down in the zone below the waist. He just barrels it. Good up the middle of the field approach. And the wind helps him as well. Tigers now trail by 1.
Pete Cosma stands in now to try and keep it going.
Tie this thing up. We'll be on to an extra inning win.
Cosma looks at a ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike for the veteran infielder.
Need a runner.
Way outside, 2-1. Cosma last year splitting time with the Yankees and the Rangers. We're talking about the fact that back in 07 he was a first-round pick of the Cardinals. 5 years in the Cardinal system.
Very heady player, very polished. I think when you look at players that come out of the Cardinals organization, they're thought of as to be well trained and well developed.
3-1 now on Cosma. Tigers need a base runner here, down by a run in the bottom of the 9th. In there, a strike called, and the count goes full now at 3-2.
Cosma taking all the way right there. Making him throw a strike. Get on base right here.
Here's the 3-2. Ground ball, base hit right field. Tying run is on.
There's showing some confidence right there in that at bat. 3-1 in the count ahead. Takes the 3-1 count, the 3-1 pitch is right there and gets the same pitch. Pretty sure he's going to get the fastball again, and there he doesn't try and pull it. He's a threat to steal as well.
Here is Sergio Alcantara. He wouldn't hit one in the wind up there and hit one out.
That would be nice. He got some pop.
A little bit.
He's probably going to throw over again. Will he do it 3 times in a row?
You got to get the 2 times first.
The old step off. Go right here. If I was in that Nats dugout, I'd throw over 5 times in a row right now.
I know you would.
You'd get him. Well, you'd get him. He's going to go.
Way outside. Alcantara was acquired in the J.D. Martinez trade with Arizona.
And Harper's thinking about that run over there at first base and having trouble throwing the ball over the plate. Missing most of them arm side and high.
2-0. Mike Gerber's home run here in the 9th, drawing the Tigers to within 1, and then a base hit by Cosmo with 2 outs.
Make it be down.
Tigers now have 9 hits. The Nationals have 10 this afternoon.
If you get to a 3-0 count, you can go, don't you think?
Surely.
I don't think he'd throw over 3-0.
2-1. Alcantara last year with 3 home runs, 35 RBIs in A-ball all season. He stole 15 bags. Ground ball up the middle. They'll get the force at second to end the ball game. Tigers get a run here in the ninth on the home run by Mike Garber. We'll take a break, come back and wrap things up. Washington a winner here today, 5-4.